These are cool. What a cool little idea. That's legit. It's like when you really love a movie and you get the commentary one. Know your Latin. I know a little.
Scattered throughout the game, you can see some signs written in Latin. The reason for using it is that it was considered a language of culture and science, as most
Wine
scientific
cellar.
and philosophy authors wrote their works and treatises in it. As we are dealing with a castle dwelled by a pretty smart guy that has been around since the Renaissance period, Latin all around the place was something we should expect. Being the only guy in the team that had a direct contact with Latin, in high school to be more precise, well, it was kind of logical that any translation to be done would have my name on it. Translating stuff into Latin was kind of strange and fantastic to do. At first I had a classic Latin dictionary, so if I had to translate any modern term, I would have to track its etymology down to the Latin equivalent, or look for a synonym or similar expression that had a direct translation. Then I had the luck to come across some dictionary for modern stuff online that addressed most of this stuff for a huge lot of terms, so it couldn't have come in a better time. Some days I would have Sebastian dropping a list of 9 or so entries to be translated, and before finding this dictionary, it was quite a lot of work. On a side note, we even had a choose your Latin poll on a couple entries, just to pick the one that sounded better for everyone. Results were pretty unanimous, by the way. For some final words on this, I must confess that, while I was pretty good at this in high school, that was like 15 years ago, so right now I'm not 100% sure translations are correct at all, but I took the time to make them at least plausible, so my apologies go in advance to any Latin guru up there playing the game, as I myself get on the verge of losing my temper when I see stuff like this obviously made up.
Interesting. When did Google Translate come out? Let's see. So I was intending just to play the game, but I guess this is going to be sort of a exploration. When did it launch? April 2006. And this game was 2010. So it sounds like you had to actually do it old school. Silvanaria Laboratorium. I always wondered, how are you supposed to pronounce things in Latin? Like, what is the accent? I know. Because, like, do any of us know? Like, isn't it kind of a dead language in a way? How the fuck do you know that's how they pronounce it, right? Right, Lewis wrote there a whole new tool set. Talk to me, bro.
If you haven't followed our development blog back when it started, you might have missed one of the biggest changes in our production pipeline. 2 years back, we started a toolset side project to ease and speed up the creation of content for the game. I'd say the level editor, which is what we, or more specifically Jens, Mark and Marcus, have used to build all the halls and corridors you are working through right now, is the big start of the pack. Its workings in a nutshell, while all the models and assets are actually made in software like Maya or Blender, everything geometry-wise in the levels is put together in it. Then lighting and sweet details like decals and fog are added in. While this approach might sound simple, really nice stuff can come out from it, as you can see in the game.
So when did they add the commentary? I gotta say the sound quality is shit. I'm no audio engineer, but come on. Traveling to Dover meant going through Canterbury. He made sure to pay a visit to avoid the sense of guilt connected with neglected family. Oh, this fucking place. I remember this. Oh, hello. What do we got here? It's dark in here. Oh, finally. I hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg. This contract will reign for a total of 3 years when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg, is to recommend my services at the Prussian royal court and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break this seal. Wilhelm, House of Garrick. Why did you do that, dude? It's like not advised, man. Okay, alright. I'm lighting it. Fuck. Go nuts. Imagine if they remastered this. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh. I do need that. Oh. Old physics. Yeah. I can do it. How do I crouch? How do I crouch? There we go. No, You damn tinders. Gotta get me some tinder. Talk to me, bruh. Fun with furniture. Oh, you asshole.
Another piece of the toolset is the model editor, used to create the entities you are interacting with while playing. Basically, we take a model and set up some parameters like physical bodies, joints, and user-defined variables. We can also attach sub-entities to them, like lights, particle systems. When an entity is finally set up, it is ready to be placed in a level using the level editor. Examples of entities here are doors, lamps, most furniture, critters.
Okay. It's material.
To finish this little overview of our tools, I must mention the material editor, available both standalone and built into the other editors. The program itself is very simple to use. You have some material types defined by the engine, and you can throw in textures to be used for diffuse, normal maps, height maps, as well as some variables to control specific parameters for a material type. When I was writing it, I could just stare while the preview model rotated around itself and the parallax mapping effect was on when testing, just for fun.
Okay, so if you're a game dev, that's interesting, right? How do I... Why is there a spot up there? See it? Like, look. There's ledges up there. Oh wait. Yeah! Suck on that. Alright. Fucking genius is what I am. Hello, does this matter? It does not. Open up. See what's inside. I'm going crazy. This is drawer opener simulator. It's good shit. Let's see.
16th of May, 1839.
Oh fuck.
The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk.
Stop digging
Professor
shit
Herbert
up.
managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Oops. Like, just stop digging holes. Like, you see a hole and it gives you a whiff of nope. Just respect that. That's all you gotta do. See? Worth it. Fight these fucking drawers. Do we click on this? Problems with not being
This
fun.
level was changed a lot, and I think it's one of the most tweaked levels that we got. Not only was it part of the big archives level that we had to split up, but it was also hard to get it engaging enough. The problem here is that we don't have any sort of fun mechanic that we rely on to make the game engaging. Instead, we rely on story, atmosphere, and environments.
Yeah.
This is true for many other levels and the game as a whole, but these were kind of the one of the larger levels that we made, and also one that didn't have much puzzles and such. So when testing it, we quickly get bored with it, and we wanted to add more spooky events to spice it up. But then later on, testing proved that these events weren't that necessary, and we also felt that they were a bit lame and not fitting, so we decided to remove them. Then the back part of the level, we wanted to make that a more linear experience with
Linear.
the current player getting trapped and all, forcing the player to solve the destroy wall and find secret door puzzles. Previously, testers often missed that they can solve these problems. The level is now very different from the early designs.
Cool, dude. I love that they made it so that I can move that. I want to do it again. Hang on. I'm running out of fucking books here. Listen. Fuck you. Alright. Brandenburg. What's this? Oh, it didn't work, eh? What's that say? Libri Viteri. Okay. This is a place full of bullshit. Place full of insanity. There. Turn the lights on. Now what the fuck are you gonna do? Kiss my ass. What's with the music? Da-na-na. I didn't need to come in here, it looks like. Oh, yes, I did. Give me this. I live here. Ah. Imagine if you had so many rooms in your house, you just, like, didn't even visit them every day. Now, to be clear, I don't visit every room in my house every day. Studium. But, like, it's not because I'm cool. It's just that one of them isn't mine. And another one is empty. Because we don't know what to do with it yet. And then if it's not a work day, I don't go in my fucking office. Fuck no. Fuck you, I'll just go through the dark. Oh, hello! I'm an Englishman. Let me out of here. Chris is down there somewhere in the village. Okay, hang on. Very, very big. Very, very big. Very, 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 very big. Yeah. Oh, fuck me. Hi, man. Tell me what to do. That's a big-ass roach and a tiny-ass piano. Talk to me.
When I started writing, I had only outlined the framework for the story and the first few levels in the game design document. So I ended up finalizing a lot of material for the first levels, and then when those were done, we planned out the last 2/3 or so.
Cool.
This had a funny effect since I had to not only cater to the story, but to stay true to the stuff I've written for the first levels. Usually you can go back and forth while writing and change things, but if you have already recorded voices, you really shouldn't because of the costs. So the first text really shaped the rest of the material in an interesting way, and made them matter in a way I hadn't thought about. I really like how this thickens the story elements, as I am able to jump back into the material and keep using and reinforcing certain concepts. Agrippa is of course the most extreme effect of this method, which grew from a small reference to becoming one of the most important characters in the game.
Interesting. I'm going crazy. Lots of shit I don't need. I keep scrolls in my dresser. Dane, you're going nuts. Get out of there. I know. It's just hard, man. It's just hard, man. Open it up. Ooh. I'm like rolling in the tinder. Rolling. How do I have a... I do. Oh, I forgot about this. Fucking my crazy brain meters and my heart. Look at that. I have a slight headache. All is good. I have oils. I have tenders. Oil bad. Journal good. Slight headache. You know what? I do have a slight headache. And it's because this is blurry as fuck. Whoa!
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries.
Ooh.
When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
Uh-oh.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the walls. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us. especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Slaves! Okay. So castle's jacked. Got it. Very cool. Whoa! What the fuck? Work in here.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Oops. It's almost like we were doing shit we weren't supposed to do. You know what I mean? You feel me, bro? What? There's light over here. Chill. Look at it. Oh, boulders. Kingdom of Prussia. What a cool place. We love it. Okay, what am I missing? What is this? Fragile but not breakable by hand. Well, have you met, what can I pick up? Yeah. You met my friend Rock? He rocks. That fucking worked. It's fucking pimp cane.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
Yeah.
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Man, I shacked up with a sugar daddy who just tortured me with Cthulhu. What a dickhead. Shouldn't have done this. Yo, hang on. Listen. I win! Ah, vengeance! Fear me! Love this. Allstadt and Brandenburg Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Allstadt, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brandenburg. The quiet forest-clad mountains dressed with scattered lakes is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local and you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motifs that keep reappearing. Zagazarars. This story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. Is any of this real? I don't read history. It is said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods, and we were forever damned to roam the grounds. Their bodies, rocked by their tainted souls, have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers, as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It is their prey which can be heard struggling inside the damp burlap sacks dragged behind them, which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Altstadt at the start of the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of the kingdom's past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years ago. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Altstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was the mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The immortal Baron. This is a lore dump. The Baron of Brennenburg lives a reclusive life, even, with his family and his castle nearby Altstadt. And like most people of noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Yes. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands, claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remained popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage, therefore the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago. He doesn't die. Lived through the time of occupation and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle, along with the great leaders of this country. He doesn't have kids. Deal with that. Live forever!